good evening. I am Answane Sonyasi, and this is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Well, Eid Mubarak again to all our Muslim viewers who celebrated Tabaski over the weekend. Here are the main news headlines. Former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, together with delegation of his foundation, has arrived in the Gambia on Wednesday afternoon ahead of a two-day capacity building for National Assembly members. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, on Wednesday inaugurated a new water borehole connected by NAWEC for the community of Gunjur following an initial complaint by the community about the quality of their water supply. The Medical Research Council unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine will be training scientists within the sub-region over 10 days on how to analyze viral genome sequences such as COVID data. And in international news, 3 people are in police custody in South Africa after 21 teenagers lost their lives mysteriously at London East Tavern last month. And in sports news, today sees the first 2 quarterfinals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Well, those were our main headlines, and now we take a look at the news in detail. Former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, together with his delegation of his foundation, has arrived in the Gambia on Wednesday afternoon ahead of a 2-day capacity building for National Assembly members. He was received at the Banjul International Airport by the Deputy Speaker and officials of the National Assembly. In an interview with the press, the former Nigerian head of state says that the training is meant to strengthen participatory politics, given the importance of the legislature in a democracy. Here's an excerpt.
Primary reason for this visit this time around is to work with the Gambian National Assembly, the Parliament, to see if we can organize a little workshop to strengthen participatory politics. You know, the Parliament is key in every democracy. Even in my country that we pass through a lot of military rule, even during the military, you have the executive, you have the judiciary, but there will be no parliament. That there is elected parliament. That is the essence of democracy. And in most cases in Africa, at the end of every round of elections, you find it difficult to see so many people returning. My country is even worse. They hardly get 30% of parliamentary returning. So in most cases, more than 60% are new. And parliamentary business is serious business. So you need a bit of capacity building before you can start to deal with state issues. You know, people come from different backgrounds. Some people are not too conversant with state issues. And you are battling between your party interests and the national interests. So they need to be prepared, and that is the area where we think we can make little contributions. The Gambian High Commissioner in Abuja met us, and we had a conversation. Then we reached out to the clerk, then the speaker, and so on. And of course, the ECOWAS Parliament too, the speaker, all of them keyed in and feel that we should come and have 1.5 day little workshop to see how we can step up the capacity. And if you have a good parliament, that is the essence of democracy. So every citizen will benefit, and the parliament will have a clear focus of where they are going. So it's not a big deal, but for us to work together.
Former Nigerian head of state Goodluck Jonathan there speaking to journalists. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, on Wednesday inaugurated a new water borehole connected by NAWEC for the community of Gunjur, following an initial complaint by the community about the quality of their water supply. Omar Pijalo has the rest of that story.
This project was one of the biggest class action complaints lodged with the authority and was by the community of Gunjur in October 2020. There followed a use of the authority's complaints resolutions procedure, community engagements and consultation with NAWEC to ensure a permanent solution to the complaint. This led to the proposal of connecting borehole E13 from Nyofela to Gunjur treatment plant. This was to ensure the quality drinking water met required standard. The Director General of PURA, Yusfa Job, highlighted the challenges they face, which led to the delay of the project's completion on schedule. Job commended his staff working on the complaint for persevering and working with NAWEC until the complaint was resolved.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the community of Gunjur for their patience and understanding, as this has taken a little bit, almost 2 years. But due to the fact that they stood with us to face the challenges, today we have gotten rid of the high content of iron in the water and the coloration that was a problem of Gunjur people. This is now a thing of the past. In future, we will endeavor to get a faster action delivery on issues like this, and we are trying our best to ensure that that is the way forward. I want to enjoin upon the communities to take advantage of the authority, to lodge their complaints and to follow them through. Continuous follow-up makes sure that we are on top of things, and for us to, we will endeavor to take action, especially when you call our 148 number, because the call lines are there to serve the communities and to ensure that all utility facilities for the public are given at the highest quality and the best price possible. Our next assignment would be to deal with the issue of the Bansang water problem.
There are growing concerns about water quality and inadequate supply in some cases in the Gambia. Suleiman Jaju works with NAWEC.
I feel very sad, uncomfortable, concerned about the complaint of water, poor quality, and etc. We try by all means, what they say, what they request, and then we supply them.
The Alcala of Gunjur Dembo Dabo and the Chief of Kombo South Falalo Toure both expressed delight for the project and urged Pura and NAWEC to extend the project to other affected communities. The poor treatment, delivery and handling of water badly compromises the quality of water. This includes both pipe water supplied by the National Water and Electricity Company NAWEC and water from wells drawn from the country's underground sources. Site visits in mid-2020 by the Gambia Public Utility Regulatory Authority Pura also revealed a host of serious problems at NAWEC's Frafenye, Bansang, Mansakonko and Soma water treatment plants. Apart from a lack of maintenance on equipment and buildings, it also found animal intrusion and poor sanitary conditions in treatment areas, failure to properly chlorinate water, leaking tanks and delivery of water with high iron levels that fails to meet the minimum standard. More than 72,500 cases of diarrhea were registered in the Gambia in 2019, according to the National Health Service statistic. Even though the incidence of fatal diarrhea-related deaths has decreased by 25% since 2009, it still remains the 8th cause of death in the Gambia, according to the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, an independent global health research center at the University of Washington. For the people of Gunjur, this installation solved many of their water problems. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
The Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine will be training scientists within the sub-region over 10 days on how to analyze viral genome sequences such as COVID data. Ajbentu Drame has more.
The training sees the MRC host 15 laboratory scientists from 7 ECOWAS countries, namely the Gambia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mali and Togo, to build their knowledge and skills to be able to sequence their own positive COVID-19 samples in country and to perform primary bioinformatics analysis of the sequencing data. Dr. Abdul Karim Sise, head of Genomic Strategy Core Platform, MRC Gambia, explains the significance of the training.
COVID is a big story, but as COVID, in fact, other countries in our region are already experiencing the 5th wave, so COVID hasn't gone away. So I know although people are assuming that COVID may have done, even in UK it's increasing, so COVID hasn't gone away, so it's still the big story. So these people, if they learn how to analyze COVID data, they will be able to analyze monkeypox data, dengue fever, Lassa fever data. It's not a research training. These are to national public health laboratory personnel. So these are people that work in the health service. These are the ones that you expect them to know what's happening in the country. So this is important because it will determine public health issues and maybe public health policies.
Dr. Sisa says he expects the participants to be excited about the intensive course and, more importantly, apply the knowledge in their respective countries.
The world is getting narrower and narrower because people moving around a lot. So in fact, It's important that when you're capacity building a region. There's no point trying to know what's in Gambia if you don't know what's in Senegal. So if you have Ebola in Sierra Leone, the chances of you getting in here is it's really high. So that's why I think that it's very important that the capacity building in the region should be joint.
The training will also give the participants a platform to network and develop future collaborative projects with their peers and experts in viral bioinformatics. Fatoumata Sidibe, a lab scientist at the National Public Health Laboratories and a participant, says the training is important for her profession, as the university does not offer bioinformatics as a course of study. She further adds that a lack of equipment and trained personnel in the public health sector is a challenge.
Expectation is to learn as much as possible, network, and at least what is not in another country can be in another. So then you can, let's say, improve your skills.
Samuel Sane, a medical lab scientist and a participant from Sierra Leone, also explains.
Bioinformatics training cannot be overemphasized. This training is very important. People who are skilled in bioinformatics are very scarce, not only in my country, but in the sub-African region. So this is very important because we know as a continent, we are faced with various challenges, challenges that are posed by diseases that are of public health concern.
The training is funded by the West Africa Health Organization. Within the course of the 10 days, participants will be taken through various topics such as building a pipeline for analysis, interpretation and identification of viral pathogens, and identifying effective methods for disseminating knowledge and skills in viral bioinformatics, amongst a range of other topics. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
And we now go for a commercial break, but when we return, the news continues.
Save up to 50% energy with the new side-by-side Samsung refrigerator. Samsung air conditioners come with HD filter and antibacterial for your protection. Save time, energy, and effort by using our washing machines, loaded with innovative features that offer superior cleaning technology. Step into the future of television with our slick and slim Samsung Smart TV designs. Sizes range from 32 to 85 inches. Smart LED, Crystal UHD Ultra High Definition, and QLED Quantum Dark LED. Get new ways of interacting with your TV. Unparalleled vision, right from the comfort of your living room. Our products are backed with 1-year warranty. Visit us at QCell Building at Caraba Avenue or at Boosterview Turntable. Contact us on 333-3217 or email us at info@quantumnet.gm. Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed, wide coverage, and connect up to 15 devices. That's not all. The indoor router can be used for both office and home needs. So, enhance your internet experience with our indoor router. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus, we innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that commercial break. We reminded you're following QTV News and we're broadcasting live from our studios on Caraba Avenue. I'm Ansmane Sonyasi, and we now take a look at international news in a moment. Now, 3 people are in police custody in South Africa after 21 teenagers lost their lives mysteriously at London East Tavern last month. Here's Loliam Kamara with the story.
Reports say the teenagers died mysteriously after collapsing tavern. According to the police, the victims were found scattered across the floors and tables. Suspects, including the owner of Enyo Benny Tavern, were detained in connection with allegedly selling alcohol to underage children. In the coming week, the 52-year-old owner of Enyo Benny Tavern is to appear in court, while 2 of his employees have been given the option of paying a fine of about $120 for allegedly selling alcohol to people below 18 years. and another 2 others aged 33 and 34 have also been arrested in connection with the matter. According to investigations, the youngest of the victims, said to be at a party to celebrate the end of mid-year exams, was aged 13, and many others were younger than 18 and should not have been allowed into the venue. Meanwhile, the Liquor License Board filed a complaint with the police following the deaths. A 16-year-old who remained unnamed told BBC, and I quote, "The venue was packed, entrance was free, and free alcohol was also being dished out. We started drinking and having fun with others," quote ends. She said her colleagues were dropping like flies as she described their deaths to BBC. As investigations are still ongoing, the toxicology report is yet to be concluded, but the pathologists have suggested that the deaths may have been caused by something they inhaled or ingested. Alcohol has been blamed by the Premier of Eastern Cape Province, Oscar Mabuyan, who condemned the unlimited consumption of liquor. He said, and I quote, "You can't just trade in the middle of society like this and think that young people are not going to experiment." However, the police are remaining cautious, issuing a statement, and I quote, "Just as we said in the beginning, investigations is a process and needs to be treated with extreme care and wisdom." A provincial safety official told AFP news agency that a stampede have been ruled out as the cause of death, as there were no invisible wounds on the bodies. The case has shocked the community and the country, and they are demanding answers as to how this tragedy happened. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
Indeed, quite tragic. Our prayers and thoughts are with their families and the people of South Africa. And I'm afraid we'll now take a look at sports news in a moment. Now, today sees the first 2 quarterfinals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Murugajaga tells us more.
Host Morocco have had an impressive performance, which has been boosted by fanatical home support. And their coach, Reinald Pedros, says they will not lack desire and motivation when they face Botswana in Rabat tonight with a FIFA World Cup spot on the line. "We have one goal. It's at least to get to the semi-finals. We have been building up to this goal for more than a year now, and today we are in the position we expected. We finished first in our group stage, and we are now in the quarterfinals. I think what is not necessary is to put negative pressure on the players. On the contrary, I think we have to work. We have to reassure them about the potential of our team. The tournament does not stop at the semi-finals though. We have the ambition, if we qualify, to go as far as possible. So that's why we will play this match with a lot of desire and determination, just as we have done in every game so far, in order to reach to the semi-finals for the first time," says Pedros. Pedros is happy that his team is well rested after the group stage and that everyone is fit, everyone is ready, and we have prepared for the match against Botswana with a lot of ambitions. Morocco midfielder Eldoy Naka shares the view that the team will apply tonight all the positives that have worked well for them since the start of the tournament. "What we also did during the preparation is to put a lot of work, concentration and seriousness. If we produce our football, there is no reason why we should not make it to the semi-finals." In tonight's other game, the stakes are so high when his team faces Zambia in Casablanca that Senegal coach Moussa Cissé knows there will be little need for his pre-match talk. The team that wins this quarterfinal will qualify directly for the next FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, which would be a first for either of these nations. No speech can motivate more than the stakes of this match, a place in the last 4 of this competition, but above all, qualification for the World Cup. This generation can be a pioneer in Senegal and change the course of history of women's football in the country, says Cissé. The Lionesses of Teranga will be boosted by the return of 3 key players, Kumbasi Lamboji, Anta Dembele, and Geren Jai, who have all again tested negative for COVID-19. Zambia is not to be taken lightly. They finished first in a group that contained Cameroon and Tunisia, 2 difficult teams to play against, which we met during our preparations for WAFCON, warns Senegal Ndeye Awa Jakite, before adding that we are aware of our strengths and will give everything to win. On the other hand, the Copper Queens of Zambia are also full of confidence before their clash. We are well prepared. It is true that we have come a long way, but since the second group game, we have been stepping up, said Hazel Nali, Zambia's goalkeeper. When Bruce Moepa, the Zambian coach, was asked how he viewed Senegal, he replied, "They are a good team who did not arrive at this level by chance. We have a lot of respect for them, but we do not fear them." Senegal and Zambia have a similar playing style, relying on an attacking trio, Mapepa, Chanda, Chitundu for the Copper Queens, and Jallo, Njai, Balde, supported by Jakite for Senegal, and a solid defense. Both have conceded only one goal in the tournament so far. The goal of qualifying for the World Cup hugely motivates both teams. This is not the time to give up, says Bruce Moepa. Qualifying for a FIFA World Cup, in turn, says Jakite, will bring so much to women's football in Senegal. Being the first generation to be able to do this must not be synonymous with the last. Our younger sisters are watching us. They must now say to themselves that this is possible, concludes Jakite, ahead of the biggest game of her and her country's history. Mudu Gajaga, QTV News.
And talking about the Senegal-Zambia game, here's a quick update. It ended 4-2 on penalties. Zambia won, and Senegal had 3 penalties saved. The Zambian goalkeeper scored the winning goal. Well, commiseration to the Taranga Queens, and congratulations to Zambia's female team. And I'm afraid that's all about it for this bulletin. But to end, here's a recap of tonight's stories. Former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, together with delegation of his foundation, has arrived in the Gambia on Wednesday afternoon ahead of a 2-day capacity building for National Assembly members. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, on Wednesday inaugurated a new water borehole connected by NAWEC for the community of Gunjur, following an initial complaint by the community about the quality of their water supply. The Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, will be training scientists within the sub-region over 10 days on how to analyze viral genome sequences such as COVID data. And in international news, 3 people are in police custody in South Africa after 21 teenagers lost their lives mysteriously at London East Tavern last month. And in sports news, today sees the first 2 quarterfinals of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Well, that's it for this bulletin. Do join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Until then, thanks for watching.